Morning everybody, it's Chris from Serene Education with the 4 majors and that's update for the 22nd of June 2012. End of week guys, it's Friday, so let's have a look and see what we can expect today after yesterday's movement. Euro against US dollar on a daily up front, and you can see that bearish engulfing candle after that indecisive candle the day before. I mentioned on my video we want to see a decision candle, and sure enough we got it. This is primarily based on news that filtered through that Moody was going to be downgrading large majority of the banks here in the UK, but also those really shocking figures that came out of the US market yesterday. So in terms of growth, if I could just look at the calendar, let's have a look and see. Yesterday, yes, a lot of unemployment claims were down, flash manufacturing PMI was negative. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index was a shocker. Previous figure was minus 5.8. They were expecting a forecast of 0.7. So a positive figure came at a negative 16.6. So very, 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 very negative. And yeah, unemployment figures also 6,000 more than the forecast. So nothing's not really shaping up like well, and that obviously was that ripple effect that felt right throughout all the pairs yesterday, and sure enough we got that really negative bearish candle, especially on the euro yesterday. And it's an indecision. You want to see a decisive candle. Yes, you have this momentum is still to be decisive to the upside. You want the price to be pushing towards a 50% line at least, but all that negativity out there just really, especially the banks downgrades, etc., really pulled back in the opposite direction. And now you can see price actually retested the 23.6 yesterday. Asian market session trading still above the 23.6, guys. End of week, so it remains to be seen how much movement we get to see today. But if we get a break below the 23.6 this morning, then ultimately looking through the US session this afternoon, we could see price still remaining to the downside. If you look at, if you look at today's news announcement, what do you have? German info business climate. Details, what else? We have not much else, to be honest with you. 1 or 2 meetings taking place. Not much else. End of week. So let's see if price can remain above the 23.6 here, roughly around the 1252, 5300. Then we could see price just consolidating because end of week. However, we see a break and close lower than 23.6 on our hourly chart, for example, and price spends more time below the 23.6 going into the US session. Then we could expect a small move to the downside to continue after this bearish engulfing. This is a very bearish sentiment candle, and ideally after that we want to see a major support and resistance being breached. You can see quite clearly at 23.6, a noticeable consolidation area. Got to see a break of that to see any further indication that this is genuinely looking to continue to the downside, and then we could look potentially at the long-term target for next week here at the 12,300. Sterling, let's have a look. Yes, same thing yesterday, indecisive on Wednesday. You wanted to see a decision candle, bang. Thursday's candle was very decisive. Resistance, 4 consecutive days of resistance, or in fact 5 consecutive, a full week of resistance at the 157500, which happened to be the institution moving average as well. So very, 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 very consolidative, indecisive as we went into this major support and resistance level here at the 1575. Let's have a look and see when a retracement this actually fell. Was it the 50% line? Yeah, just below the 50% line. Okay, also finding support at 38.2 for a number of days here at the 1565. So consolidating, bouncing between these 2 points, institution and the support. Resistance, support, resistance, support. And we wanted to see, after an indecision, we want to see a decisive candle. Indecision, indecision, decisive. Indecision, indecision, decisive. Not a very good decisive one, but so you got to wait for the decisiveness. You want to see the decision candle, and that decisive candle was negative because it was finding a lot of resistance above. And sure enough, it's taken us back below 38.2, and you can see the Asian market session going to the European session open. Price is still at the bottom end of the candle, very small trading range, and you can see that there are more sellers in the market than there are buying. So we should be looking at potentially 23.6 as our first target here at the just short of the 15,500 mark. Back below that, we could look at target that all-time low here at 15,300, which was that major support and resistance level on our monthly chart. Weekly monthly chart, 15,300 is a major support and resistance. That's the reason why we had this bounce after this hammer into spinning tops and dojis. We saw this bullish engulfing, forming a morning star over a number of days, and then we saw the upside movement. So at the moment now, you can see bearish engulfing at this resistance, clear resistance. This forming a lower swing, so a swing low, and we should be now looking at potential targets to the downside, 1550, and then ultimately back down towards 15300 for the foreseeable future. Next up, the US dollar Swiss franc. Let's have a look. Yesterday's bullish engulfing candle, as the markets across the world got nailed, so the US dollar rallied, and against the against the Swiss franc after this indecision. Another spinning top here, doji indecisive. It's just an indecisive candle. We won't see a decision. So you can see the lows here in May to the upside here, just at 975. In the latter part of May, you can see price has been pulling back and forming lower swings. And there's massive candle going into this trend, intermediate trend line, but also into a prior hesitation consolidation area here on the pullback to the 23.6. Price halting before we even got a close above that. And you can see the Asian session trading now is still trading at the underside of this 960 here, which is price support and resistance, a major support and resistance at 9600. Because if you pull back, you can see 9600, a major resistance level back in early January, early December, and then large parts of October, November, December of 2010. So very, very important. We've got to get above that in order to see any further extensions to the upside. So bide your time. If this is clearly bullish sentiment, we want to see that get above this major hurdle here, which happens to be this very, very strong support and resistance level. Get above that, then we should be looking for nothing more than long opportunities, because our CTC still remains positive across the board. See a lot of blue down here, not a lot of red. It's telling us this sentiment is still favoring upside. So we've got to get above this hurdle here at 960 to be to put all our eggs in our basket. Get the blue buy signal, then everything is looking topside favorite, and we should be heading up towards that 9800, 97500 to start with. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. Let's have a look and see what happened. Yeah, as with its Swiss counterpart, US dollar really gaining strength against the Japanese yen and moving higher after that psychological bounce on this institution moving average. Price really rallying in recently, or through Feb, right through to latter part of March. However, pulling back recently and retesting the 800 or the 80, which happened to be a major support and resistance level. However, didn't find actually any support at this level here. So we're looking at the breakout, the pullback, but there was no bounce and continuation in the direction of the breakout. It kind of fell through, and in doing so, pretty much following the lower swings, that the trend for this intermediate downside trend, very much forming lower swings and all in place. Swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. Bearish engulfing over here at this indecisive consolidation range at major support and resistance. That was our money tickets to go short, because it engulfed this entire indecisive range. Look at that. A full 2 weeks of indecision. Bang, that was indecisive. The pullback and then the continuation lower towards the 78.6 line before we saw price bouncing higher and reattempting the 80 again. And subsequently, what we've seen just recently is price still favoring to test, finding reason to test the 80% and now breaking higher. So as long as it maintains above the 80 line now, then we want price to actually find support and to build onto that. And as long as it's trading above all the moving averages, you can quite clearly see they're not all in order. The 20 should be above the 50 and the 50 should be above the 200 in this case. Not in order, but as long as it maintains above 80, then ultimately long term we're going to start seeing price finding support here and building on that support towards the 8100, the 8230 or 20 mark, and these will be our price support and resistance levels. So first target, as long as price remains above 80, would be our 38.2 here at 81. Second target would be 23.6, just above the 8220 here. And our third target will be all the way up to 8400 again, right at the top here. So you can see quite clearly support and then swinging higher. Swing. This is a swing and it's higher than that previous swing. So now we have this little intermediate upside trend swing. And as long as it maintains that, you can see price has now made the effort of breaking higher than this major resistance level we've seen here through almost a week. A full couple of weeks. And prior major support and resistance level, it's now price is sitting above it. It needs to actually hold on to this position now and spend more time above here, and as long as it does so, then we're looking for positiveness to be reflected on our intraday charts, and this will build up onto our dailies and weeklies, etc. for the foreseeable future. Hey guys, that's it for today. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Last day of the week. So if we see any movement, it might be a bit hesitant because you'll probably find that people are starting to consolidate their profits if they or their trade management will come to play this today because it's the end of the week. So if you see any movement, there might be some tentative movement out there. So enjoy your weekend with family and friends, and I'll see you first thing on Monday morning. Until then, trade serenely.